On December 19th, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate as unconstitutional. This was a split decision in front of the appeals court. It said that the individual mandate can no longer be read as a tax and therefore is unconstitutional. It sent the rest of the Affordable Care Act dispute in the case of Texas versus United States back down to the district court to determine the issue of severability. That is, whether or not the rest of the Affordable Care Act can stay on the books if the individual mandate falls, as they have just ruled. Overall, the entire law will stay intact for now, but as you can imagine, there will be some controversy as this makes its way back up and down through the courts in the months ahead. The appeals court said that this challenge to the Affordable Care Act, this individual mandate piece, also a guaranteed issue piece, and a community rating piece, was at issue because of that 2017 GOP tax law that zeroed out the penalty for people being uninsured. They said because that penalty was zeroed out, that there was no enforcement mechanism to the individual mandate. That's why they said it was unconstitutional. That is in agreement with what the district court said many, many months ago. The U.S. Department of Justice, as you might recall, refused to defend the law. They said they would not support the Affordable Care Act in this dispute. It is only because of the intervening states, some of the blue states that stepped in, intervened in the lawsuit, that we still have litigation ongoing. They are defending the Affordable Care Act up against the Department of Justice and the Republican states that brought this lawsuit in the first place. So the timeline that we're looking at now could actually get pretty interesting. This, like we said, will go back and forth, back down to the district court, most likely back to the Court of Appeals. The intervening states might be seeking permission to go to the U.S. Supreme Court with this case. If it is headed ultimately to the U.S. Supreme Court, the timeline for that doesn't look like it could get there before the 2020 election. That might actually politically be advantageous to those blue states because, as many of the arguments they are making suggest, this is just a political argument, hopefully for political gain in the 2020 election. If we can't get this heard by then, it would be a non-issue. Now, the immediate next step is that this case goes back to Texas to the same trial judge that found it unconstitutional in the first place. So what's at stake? As you know, we've talked about here many of the issues in front of the Affordable Care Act that are the consumer protection elements, the protections for people with pre-existing conditions, essential health benefits, making sure that health plans are robust and don't discriminate against people, even on the basis of age, the age rating criteria that was set a little bit more firmly in the Affordable Care Act, the affordability protections, including tax credits, marketplace stability measures, enhancements for American Indians in getting and purchasing health insurance, Medicaid expansion, and so much more. The issue of severability in front of the district court is one that we will be following. We will bring you updates as we learn more about how that case proceeds in the district court. In the meantime, in the description below, we do link to that appeals court decision coming out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so you can stay up to date as we learn more.